Welcome to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast, a relaxing and informative show where we explore anxiety, panic, and PTSD, sharing how you can overcome them for life.
Aloha! Welcome back to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Gina Ryan, and I am so happy to be with you again today as together we can consider the many ways to bring your mind and body back to its natural peace and calm. In today's episode, I'm talking about growing out of anxiety, embracing the journey to a brighter self. When I speak of anxiety, I'm referring to anxiety/panic or chronic stress and fear, not simply the human emotion of fear. People often call me out on that and say, but you can't clear anxiety or live without anxiety because it is a part of the human emotions. Yes, it is. And we know that here, and we are all not talking about having fear rise or anxiety rise in us. We are talking about living chronically with high stress, fear, and anxious feelings that don't go away. So, with that out of the way, today I wanted to offer a heartfelt discussion about a question that I often get, which is, can we grow out of anxiety? It's a topic, anxiety is, that sometimes feels overwhelming. It casts a shadow on our activities and our experiences. But listen, here's the truth of it. Anxiety doesn't define us, nor is it a permanent state of being. And in today's episode, we'll explore how we can transform our relationship with anxiety, nurturing a mindset of growth, hope, and renewal. The big reminder here is that you are not your anxiety. That isn't who you are. You have a relationship with your anxious feelings. So picture this. Anxiety, while challenging, is just like a phase or a season that we pass through. It's much like a storm. It may seem daunting, but like all storms, it will eventually clear. This is a great place for you to go back through the episodes and find the mountain meditation, because that is a meditation focused on us being the strong, stable mountain and letting the storms come across us, and not fearing them because they come and they go. They eventually clear. Remember, even the toughest times can be stepping stones to growth. Life's toughest chapters can lead us to the most beautiful transformations, helping us evolve into stronger, wiser versions of ourselves. So there is nothing to fear of being in a challenging or chaotic situation. It too shall pass. When anxiety knocks on our door, we often freeze, we halt everything. But consider this. Instead of letting anxiety dictate your actions, why not let it catalyze growth? Mindfulness practices rooted in acceptance can be your guiding light through these tough times. By embracing your present experience, you'll equip yourself with invaluable tools to navigate life's challenges with grace. Negative thoughts may sometimes creep in. They may be whispering to you that you'll never be the person you once were. But remember, the journey toward recovery isn't about going back to who you once were. It's about moving forward. Fighting to return to the past is resistance. And we know what resistance brings us. It brings us more stress and more anxiety. True growth stems from surrendering to the present and embracing acceptance. Just as a bear's fear-inducing nature serves as a purpose when we're out in the wild, Anxiety has its place in your life, pushing you to adapt and prepare for what lies ahead. Let's not forget that anxiety can spark positive change. It motivates us to explore new strategies when faced with stress, prompting us to discover untapped strengths. The version of you that led you to this juncture wasn't without its merits, but now you can build a new, healthier, and more resilient version of yourself. Simple lifestyle adjustments can make a world of difference. So many of the things that we talk about here are those small lifestyle changes. Consider nurturing your body with better nutrition, eliminating caffeine and alcohol, and exercising regularly or starting it if you haven't been there yet. These kinds of choices contribute to managing our relationship with anxiety and embracing a holistic, fulfilling life. So, here's an idea. Anxiety can be a lifelong teacher of sophisticated coping skills. As you navigate your recovery journey, you'll acquire tools you'll carry with you throughout your life, tools that you would have never possibly picked up otherwise. And once you emerge from the shadows of anxiety, which you will, you'll cherish even the simplest low-stress days. Anxiety imparts a precious lesson. The art of living in the present moment. It reminds us that life's beauty is amplified when we fully engage with the here and now. Each step on this journey is a chance to learn, evolve, and ultimately to thrive. So how do we go about this? I have some kind of action steps that can nurture growth as you are going forward. First off, I want you to embrace your passions. Often when we're anxious, we've let go of everything. We froze, we halt the presses, we give up everything, and we just live with our anxiety thoughts and our nervousness and our fear. But I want you to pick up a passion. Embrace what turns you on, what floats your boat, what makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. Even with anxiety, try to engage in activities that you love. Doing what you would if anxiety were absent can be a powerful way to move forward. Another thing I'd like you to try is to cultivate positivity. Now, positivity gets a bad rap lately. I hear a lot of, negative talk about positivity, but I want you to be mindful of the positive transformations that are emerging from your experience with your anxiety. You didn't go through this without gain. You have picked up a lot as you have gone through this, and you come out the other side a different and stronger person. Every hurdle that you have crossed is a step toward a stronger you. And I want you to remember, anxiety is but a season or a chapter in your whole life story. It's not the whole narrative at all. But we get caught in that negative thinking that this is who I am. What's wrong with me? I'm broken. No, you are not broken. There is nothing wrong. It is what is happening right now, and you need to either hone the skills that you already have or pick up some new tools to find your way through this. It's a catalyst for a more profound understanding of yourself and a catalyst for remarkable growth. So let's journey together toward a future that's brimming with hope and the promise of a brighter and better self. So I want to review some quick points here for you to take heart. Like jot these in your journal or come back to this episode and listen to these again to remember anxiety does not define us It is not who we are. Anxiety is something we go through at a particular time. It is not permanent. Rough times and crisis situations require growth to get through them, and we take that growth with us. Negative thoughts about not being the person you used to be will keep you stuck in the anxiety cycle. Fighting to get back to who you were is a form of resistance, and resistance keeps us stuck. Anxiety is natural and unavoidable. Bears scare us for a reason. Anxiety motivates us to do different things under stress or to prepare for what we need to do next. It is not something for us to fear. Once we learn that this is not who we are, but a set of feelings that have become set in us through our inability to go back into our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest, and we become stuck in the stress. We become stuck with that amygdala on guard constantly. We don't need to stay there forever. When we get that call, the amygdala turns on and we need to pay attention to it, like seeing a bear in the woods. It sharpens us. It helps us get to safety. But when it is stuck on, we need to take the tools that we learn here at ACP and return back to that parasympathetic side of our nervous system. And let the amygdala pop on when it needs to, and let it turn off when we register safety. Anxiety actually does motivate us under stress, so let us not be afraid of it. Remember, the old version of yourself led you to this anxious time, this season or chapter. And you don't necessarily want to go back to the old self, but create a new, healthier, and better version of yourself. Anxiety can affect your life for the better in the long run as you learn to live a healthier, more mindful life. This is a good thing. You may not have picked this up any other way. Anxiety can teach sophisticated coping skills that you can keep for life. Anxiety teaches you how to live in the moment and enjoy life to the maximum. Instead of stopping all activity with anxiety, try to grow through it. Mindfulness practices such as acceptance will help you to handle other things in life better. What you are learning by going through this anxious season, you will take out into your entire life, and many things will grow and change for the better. Surrender and acceptance are the keys to growth and recovery. So learn these through your mindfulness practices. If you haven't started your meditation practice, now is the time to begin. Go to the mountain meditation and start there. There are many different ways you can learn to sit with your mind these days. So find one that works well for you and start. If you need to start slow, start slow. 5 minutes is better than no minutes. 3 minutes is better than no minutes. Give yourself a chance to get going on these mindful practices that will help you to surrender and accept, because that's where the growth will be. And finally, the basics. Eat better, eliminate caffeine, eliminate the alcohol, get yourself out to move your body. Don't even want to use the exercise word here. Move your body however it feels to move. Move it. It is good for your anxious thoughts and the burning off of extra stress. Somehow get out there and move. I say out there because to be outside under the sunlight, to have your eyes be able to look at a long distance away, these are important things on a daily basis. So just do it. Get yourself going. Get outside. So even if you are not actively trying to eliminate your anxiety, panic, many people listen to the show still who have already gone through that. They've already recovered or cleared their anxiety and they still stop by. So even if you're not in that recovery phase, try to do what you would do if you didn't have anxiety. Try to do something new and bold and different. Try to stay positive and be aware of the positive things that are coming out of your anxiety chapter. I hope today's show was helpful for you. I love being here with you and sharing the tips and tools that have worked for me and my clients and group members. And I hope that you will share the show if you know somebody who could use a little bit more peace and calm. And now for today's quote. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning how to dance in the rain. And that's from Vivian Green. I'll be back in a few more days with another podcast. Until then, be well and aloha.
Thanks so much for joining us for today's episode of the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. Find more information at theanxietycoachespodcast.com.